Hello, my name is Jacques Comier, and I'm here to just have a few words with you and share some things. I recently published a book on relationships titled Finicky Cats and Territorial Dogs, and I noticed that a lot of people struggle with relationships. And the angle that I took in writing the book took a bit of a different look at relationships than what people are typically used to. Uh, I wanted to look at relationships from within a person rather than without, which means the things that people have control over within themselves. Those are the aspects of relationships I wanted to look at. What I realized is that men and women both struggle with relationships, and really for the same reason. Uh, we look for answers outside of ourselves. We look for things for our partners to do. And when I say relationships, I mean extending beyond what we would say relationships as in intimate relationships. I'm talking about fathers with their daughters, children, siblings, people that you work with, organizational relationships, any type of relationship, it holds true across the board. Uh, as I've gone through relationships and gotten a little bit older and wiser, one thing I realized is there are no relationship experts. It's a process, and we all struggle with some things, and most of the things that we struggle with are within ourselves. Uh, I would equate it to two different variables, love and fear. Uh, we are afraid to do some of the things that we know are necessary to grow. We love people and we want to hold on to them. We want to hold on to a lot of the things in life that are not meant to be possessed. They're meant to be experienced and enjoyed. I say one of the greatest illusions that there is the illusion of separation. And I think we focus so much on differences where we miss the things that draw us to one another. I think our spirits draw us towards one another, and I think our differences in a way repel us from one another. There's a part of us that wants to be loved and wants to love, but many times our egos won't allow us to take that extra step. And ego, don't get me wrong, ego is not something that is only carried by men. I know there's this perception that men do things a certain way, and a lot of times their egos and testosterone get in the way. But women have egos also, and our egos is what keeps us separated from each other, and it keeps us from developing into who we have the potential to be, and that is to be reconnected with one another. One of our major issues is that we have an unwillingness to forgive, and forgiving is not waiting till something happens and then it's over and saying, I forgive you for this, let's move on, but I remember and I can bring this back up. My best friend said, it really means giving forward. It means being in an attitude of forgiveness instead of an attitude of conflict. Being able to take this look at yourself and be better with yourself, forgiving yourself for the things that happened in the past and may not have turned out the way you want them to. So then you promise that those things will never happen again. Being able to forgive yourself is one of the biggest steps that you can take, along with looking at yourself, because your power to make any changes in your life does not reside outside of yourself. And that is one of the biggest issues with anyone in relationships. I think sometimes my wife was the issue. Sometimes it's my boss. It's going to always be someone outside of yourself that is the issue. But really what they're showing you is something about yourself. And this goes for me and anyone else. The things that we don't like about other people are really things that we don't like about ourselves. And running to another relationship, taking another job, moving to another town doesn't deal with what the issue is. The issue is there are changes that each one of us need to be making, and those changes are ongoing. We don't ever really get it. It's a process, and that means that we are always in the mode of developing and growing. The problem is too many of us are growing apart, and we're not growing together. Everything in the society tells you about disconnect. It tells you about separation, whether it's political, whether it's religious affiliations, whether it's height, weight, and on everything that is preached in this society, there's a good or bad tag being placed on it. So we walk around and judge. We judge everything outside of ourselves, when really everything outside of ourselves is really reminding us of who we are and what is inside of us. One of the greatest things that we can do is be humble and be able to step forward and look at another person and appreciate them and love them for where they are in the process. And this is one of our greatest challenges. And I guarantee you, if you learn to take responsibility for your own actions, no matter who you are, how old you are, where you are in relationships, whether it's a relationship with your parents or whether it's a relationship at your job, it does not matter. If you learn to take responsibilities for your own actions, I guarantee you your relationships will evolve and be something beautiful. What I'm telling you is simple, but it's not easy. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.